of One Piece just got even more exciting and expansive now that the Straw Hats have arrived above the clouds. There's a whole new world now to explore, and of course the concept of Sky Islands and a land above the clouds isn't anything new, really, but in a world as expansive and as, like, well written as One Piece, having this whole new realm, essentially, for the Straw Hats to, you know, find new islands, new characters, and all that sort of stuff is a really exciting concept to me. I absolutely love this episode. It just felt like when they finally got above the clouds, it just opened up a whole new world of, like, opportunities and interesting potential, you know, plot points and characters and stuff like that. I cannot wait to see what else there is above the clouds. Also, sorry about my voice, I'm a bit ill. But I thought in concept, this episode was really great, and I think it was executed really well as well, because when the Straw Hats did arrive, it really did feel like they've sort of broken through to this new, you know, this new world, essentially, a world above their own, and there is a whole new civilization up here. They meet somebody called the Sky Knight, who asked them for a certain amount of currency. He's basically like a hitman you can hire, as far as I'm aware, or like a guardian, for 5 million Exol, which is a whole new currency up here as well. Eventually, he tells them that they entered via the upstream, which not a lot of people do, because most people either die or they all make it. But you know, it's not the common way to get here, pretty much. And Nami's not too happy about it. So this whole time they had another way to get to the Sky Islands or above the clouds, and they took this upstream, which was like a life or death situation, pretty much, which I just thought was hilarious. But before they even met this Sky Knight, they were jumped by this dude, and Sanji, Zoro, and Luffy got 1v3'd versus this guy that was skating on the clouds, and he absolutely destroyed him, man. And then just the Sky Knight managed to save him. But I mean, it goes to show the danger up here. You know, if that's the first thing they encounter was this dude that destroyed all of them, that's pretty crazy. Although, you know, they haven't adapted to the climate yet. Even so, seeing Sanji, Zoro, and Luffy get 1v3'd like nothing was pretty crazy to see straight away. One of the funniest things I've seen in One Piece happened in this episode as well, when Usopp tried to swim in the clouds, because it essentially is another ocean just in the clouds, and he fell straight through it. Like, he started swimming and then he went all the way to the bottom, and Robin and Luffy had to save him, and he essentially gave himself PTSD, I think, because since that happened he hasn't fully recovered. I mean, he has now, but there was a long period where he was just laid out on the floor, like, saying to himself the Sky Islands are scary over and over again. And I think, like I said, he gave himself a bit of PTSD. Usopp chooses to be brave in the weirdest situations, I swear. The funny scene that cracked me up was when the Sky Knight transformed his bird into a horse, and it looked like it was going to be this majestic Pegasus, but it was like the goofiest looking thing in the world. And the Straw Hats' reaction to it just cracked me up. Like, they couldn't believe that it turned out to be such a flop. Like, this transformation into a Pegasus. It's just, the humor in One Piece is so top tier, man. I don't think it gets talked about enough, but One Piece is a funny fucking show, man. But regardless, after all of that, the Straw Hats are trying to reach a layer above where they are now. It's called the White Sky, I think it's called, or the White Clouds, and that's like the next layer, essentially. That's where I imagine they're going to find all the islands and all the people and the civilizations and stuff like that. But first they have to get through this Heaven's Gate, and there's this woman there that asks them for 1 billion Exol each, and they say they don't have the money, and she lets them through anyway, and you think it's all going to be gravy, you think it's all going to be good, and then you see she says something about letting God give his judgment upon them, so they're going to end up having to face some consequences for not paying this toll, even though they were told they didn't have to. So it's kind of scammy from that angel woman from her. I don't know, she just seemed a bit dodgy to me. Do you know what I'm saying? But regardless, I love the way that the entrance to this new world was executed. I'm super excited to see what these Sky Islands and the sky in general has to offer. I feel like like I said, it's expanded the world massively. It reminds me a little bit of Tears of the Kingdom. You know how there's the Sky Islands and the regular land and then the underground. It feels like One Piece is similar. It can have all these different layers, and every layer has so much to offer and so many different places to explore and people to discover. It's just really exciting. The One Piece world, like I said, keeps expanding, keeps getting more and more interesting, and I can't wait to see, like I said, what else this land has to offer. So let's do it.